All right, a quick little review of the D10 battery fan. And it is relatively small and compact, not too big. So take a look at the pictures relative to other things that are there. And the fan is movable. You can change the directions of the fan. And underneath we have our settings. And so we have the percentages based on battery power. We have the sleep timer. Basically all the sleep timer does is these light up and it will knock the lights out so that you don't have brightness, especially if you have the fan on if you're trying to sleep. We have different power settings for the light. We have different fan settings. On the side, we have a couple different options. We got the power in, and then we have the USB out. If you charge this up, you can use it to possibly charge your phones. Another thing, it does come with a little cord, and this is to power this up and to charge this up. It actually came looking about 75% charged. And then at the very bottom, we have a movable, and it can turn all the way around and go 360 degrees. And basically this turns so that you have a hook and you can hang your fan outside at camp, or if you're in a tent somewhere, wherever you want to do it, or maybe it's in the workshop, depending on if you don't have any flat space. So cool little compact design. There's two sets of fans in there. You can see there's the front fan set and then the back, or back and front, I guess, depending on which way we're looking at it here. As far as the brightness, we'll show you just some examples here. So this is the first one, and a little brighter, and then finally brightest, and then it turns off. Now, notice the lights over here, which it doesn't make sense, obviously, when the light's on to use the sleep. It's more so when the fan goes on. So when the fan goes on, we have 4 settings, so I'll go through those. So we have the lowest, really, really quiet, the lowest setting. Then it does get a little bit louder, so just a word to the wise, depending on how quiet you're trying to be. So those are the 4 settings, and you'll notice after the 4th time when I press it again, it's gonna go off, and it will just shut off, and the lights go off by themselves. So let's say you're at camp and you've got it on and you're playing, and you don't want these bright lights on. All you have to do is click this first button once and it will shut them off. When you turn the fan off and then turn it back on again, you do have to go through the whole cycle. If I want to turn it back on, I can do that. So over here we have power again. It arrived, I just opened the box, came about 75% fully charged, which is a really nice thing, so you can get using it and testing it out. And then as we go through the fans, you can see that it jumps through. There are 4 settings there, or 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. And after the last one, it will just shut down and it turns off. Now, I believe if you were to set the light off and then go through the cycle, and once you come back on, it resets itself. So for example, if we're on, and we turn this off, we go through high again, and then finally we go to off. Later, we want to start it on again, and notice the lights go on. So every time from everything I've seen, you do have to kind of go through the whole cycle to get the fan to turn off, which is somewhat of a pain, but only takes a couple seconds. So pretty cool overall. Like I said, really bright lights, nice and compact, and fully charged. And again, if you have something else that can also charge up a battery, or maybe your little device, your game, your phone, worst case scenario, you need something to maintain a charge when you're out camping, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and worst case scenario, you don't have to use the fan, but you got something that you could rely on to get a little boost in your phone. So really cool feature. And then it has some directions as well that kind of goes through everything that I went through. And I kind of figured most of it out, on my own. It's pretty self-explanatory. Thanks.